So, anyway, we are now studying the Bodhicitta. The Bodhicitta is very important whenever, wherever you go, whenever you're doing something, any activities. It, we are thinking, we meditate something, Bodhicitta or any kind to do virtual things. We think we have idea something or we need to like settle up somewhere specific place, specific time, then we are doing something virtual things. This is also yes good. Sometimes like conditions. This the areas environment is important. Uh, Especially we are beginners. Maybe this is important. Uh, but reality is not really this important. This is for the beginners. Anyway, even we are beginners, when you are keeping the Bodhicitta in your mind, whatever you are doing things, doesn't matter you are going to work, you are going to school, study just public, maybe it's language things, or uh, what you are going to uh, holidays. Whenever, if you are keeping Bodhicitta in your mind, then whatever you do, wherever you go, you are practicing the Bodhicitta. So Bodhicitta is the main point practice. This is something like really root. Read the Bodhicitta, you're doing something, it's always a virtual thing. Have a good result, positive the result. We thought the Bodhicitta, you are doing virtual things, maybe looks like outsidely we can see maybe something you are doing virtual things. But reality, you don't have bodhicitta, then maybe it's not be virtual things. I can't say totally it's not virtual. Without bodhicitta, you're doing something. For example, sometimes without bodhicitta, like your mind is a little bit running around, but you are reciting the mantras, or maybe physically you're making like a Gora circumambulance or something. Distance also, maybe even you, one day, for example, one day morning to evening, you forgot your bodhicitta, but you are doing because you habit every day you're doing these things. This kind of, I can't say it's totally zero. There's something surely so you have, but with bodhicitta and without bodhicitta is totally different. So this is maybe important to know. Yeah, this is like generally just general information. So today, yesterday we are also talked about the classification of bodhicitta. According to the maybe the practice level, maybe also you can do many the classifications, but main points that we have to know, like bodhicitta, when we are the like ordinary people, and we are become one day bodhisattvas, like reach first bhumis. They have like two different bodhicitta. This is according to who is generate bodhicitta, a person. we don't need to like distinguish. Now I'm ordinary, so I have to generate a Bodhicitta. Now I'm the Bodhisattva, I have to generate Bodhisattva. We don't need this kind of the idea. But this automatically, when you are ordinary, you are the generated Bodhicitta is the ordinary Bodhicitta, or how do you say, something like the relative Bodhicitta. When you are reached the first bhumi, then whatever you are doing, you generate the Bodhicitta, it's automatically, this is absolute Bodhicitta. So we don't need to like something, try to distinguish, now I'm ordinary, I have to do something like a relative Bodhicitta. So you don't need this intention. So it's like this is automatically going like this way. So yesterday we said something about this relative Bodhicitta. I think this is coming also. This subject coming also. Anyway, relative Bodhicitta, how we received the avowal of the relative Bodhicitta. This is we need some conditions, like through the ritual sadhana, and also the presence of the spiritual teacher. Then we can get this, receive or get the Bodhisattva's vow. This is the relative Bodhicitta. Since we received this Bodhicitta, then necessary to keep it, constantly renew that vow which we receive. It's again and again. It's very important. The ancient time, the masters, when they, how do you say, maybe they understood, have some maybe problems, a little bit like this about this vow, then immediately they confess. They're doing confession immediately. Why? Because they said if you, in the 3 days, within 3 days, if you confess, even you do something like opposite of the Bodhicitta vow, you confess and you renew your vows, then it's okay. But if you like forgot, or you don't know, you can you didn't to recognize you did something wrong, opposite of the vow, opposite of the Bodhicitta, then you forgot it, confess and renew your Bodhicitta vow, like month in the month, year in the year. Then it's like this is difficult to repair. Repair? Something like repair. Maybe not very good, this word. English is not correct. But I hope you understand. Especially your translators, I hope you understand what I'm saying now. Surely this is not correct way in English. So this is important when you think, oh, today I was angry with, for example, maybe giving examples is better if you don't, like me, if you don't speak well the English, then maybe give an example, then easy to understand you. For example, today I'm angry with someone. and then I have some bad ideas, maybe it's possible. Then maybe when I'm angry with this person have some problems. Maybe I'm happy. Yeah, of course, this is normal. I think maybe he did bad things. Now it's okay. Now he can understand. Some, something inside, so I'm happy for this person have problems. Because why? Because before I angry with him or with her. So this is, of course, this is a not correct way the Bodhisattva's vow, Bodhicitta, not correct Bodhicitta. So after maybe few minutes, few hours, then I recognize, oh, I had this idea with this person. So why I did really is wrong. That is wrong. That is not good. According to the Bodhicitta, Bodhisattva vow, I'm wrong. Then you have really deeply in your heart, you deeply, from you, or bottom of your heart, or from your heart, then you confess. Then it's good. I mean, you repair. You confess this what you did wrong, and you repair again your Bodhisattva vow. That is important. That's why often we have to take or renew the Bodhisattva vow. If we have the Sangha together, then we can do together from each other, you can say. If there's no Sangha, also no problem. You can visualize all the Buddhas, the front of maybe you, if you have some like the mandala, some place, surely you are all the practitioners, you have some place, specific place in your place. Always there's specific place you practice all this like something like maybe representative Buddha statue, or maybe some the text, any kind of maybe bell and doji, or if you don't, even you don't have like a big shine room or something, big mandalas, but you have some representative always. The front there you go and you visualize all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas in the sky front of you. Then you can renew your Bodhicitta vow. And you confess what is you remember you did wrong. What if you don't remember? Included everything wrong your ideas or wrong actions. After you confess and renew your Bodhicitta vow. That is it's very important. When you confess and you take a vow or renew the vows, you visualize the Buddha's Bodhisattvas refuge tree in front of you. This is the why we do like this. This is something like these deities, taking them as a witness of your generation Bodhicitta. So this is quite important. Then you generate Bodhicitta also at the same time. All the sentient beings, since beginnerless, if you think long term, then it's already become our parents. Since we are when they are our parents, become our parents, then they looked after us and they given us the most important or most or very best of their own food and their clothing, and also they nurtured us with all their love. Seem like now, present, the parents, how they are doing for us, how they did in this life, our parents. Then the other lives also they did same. So we think this way. Now we have good opportunity reborn the human being, human realm. Especially we have opportunity to have this kind of the study. You know, there are many the human beings. They don't have any ideas. This thing, the virtue, unvirtue, causality, doing the best for all the sentient beings. Very, very rare. Maybe doing good things to their families, their friends. Yes, but for doing all the sentient beings, it's very rare. Then we can consider ourselves is something also precious. Our life is thanks to our parents, thanks to our teachers. So we have some ideas doing all the benefit of sentient beings. That is really precious. That is the Buddha's Bodhisattvas, a great action we are the following. We are doing copy as they did, as they do it. That is very important. And with these ideas, one is the one reason all the sentient beings, they have been our parents. That times they did very good things for us. One reason is now we understand this kind of the causality and like virtues and virtues. These 2 points, 2 important things together. So now we cannot lose this chance, the time. Because if we don't do in this life, maybe in future, we don't have this opportunity. We don't know. So now we have got this chance immediately, not postponed. Do from today. For example, we need this idea, for example, something this kind of idea is important immediately. You know, the ancient masters also often they said, when you make some problems, all the sentient beings, like the opposite of the Bodhicittas, immediately you have to confess. That's important. And when you have something idea to practice the virtual things, immediately start, not postpone. That is some like the quintessential Pita instructions. If we do tomorrow, day after tomorrow, then maybe next month, next year, then what we did wrong things also is after they say it's difficult to confess. And also doing something virtual things for the benefit for others, maybe also slowly this will become like a rainbow. Maybe you can't do. So it's important whenever we have these ideas arise in our mind, immediately start is important. Then like this ID, with this ID, so we can recite any kind of the recitation of the Bodhicitta. Here's we are now studying about the word by perfect teacher, of course, in the Mundu, Honato no Wacha Divinity. This is like a recitation of the Bodhicitta. But this is here only just the example. Any kind we are reciting the Bodhicittas, for example, when we go make sword in the Nupa, in the Yom tradition Yarmus, we have there's also Bodhicitta recitations at the same time. The same like the visualization, where thinking is should be like same. It's not only like Honato no Wacha Dizuri. Then after that, then maybe not necessary to explain all because everybody knows in the Mundu visualization. Slowly, the surrounded all the deities, Olamas, Bodhisarvas, slowly like dissolve the main Lama, main our the refugee Lama, or and this Lama, which is our root, the teacher, also become like a rainbow ball. Rainbow is dissolved in our heart. At that time, the most important we think all the object of the deities, our refuge deities, they have of course the how do you say, in their heart, or they have this absolute bodhicitta, because they are like our the Buddhas, Bodhisarvas, which is we invite from us. They are Buddhas and Bodhisarvas. So what they have, this bodhicitta, is absolute bodhicitta. So this absolute bodhicitta is like arousing, or like how do you say, like receive, you can say receive in our mind, or arousing in our mind. Something this visualization or idea is important. I will repeat. Okay, maybe this is important. When you the bodhicitta time, when you like dissolve all the surrounded deity, Buddhas, Bodhisarvas, the deity, we visualize reality, our the root teacher, who gives out the bodhicitta vows or any kind like initiations, okay, the root teacher. Then root teacher is also become like a rainbow, and it's dissolved in the heart, in our heart. So those times, all the Buddhists, the Buddha and the Bodhisarvas, this is like become cause, we can say. And because for the moment we haven't got the absolute bodhicitta, we are relative bodhicitta, we are generating relative bodhicitta. Now this visualization, we have to visualize, we have to think, like these are like a causing, the cause, the absolute bodhicitta is present in our mind, which is all the refugee in the deities, the bodhicitta, absolute bodhicitta is like arise in our mind. Then if you can remain few seconds, few minutes, if you are alone, normally when you meditate, when you are alone, it's more easy. Sometimes we say when you have a group, they have some like power, group samadhi powers. That is true also. But you are alone is something like free. Because we have this experience. I had many times this experience, but surely you had also. Someone like remain your mind in your meditation. Then this like until someone is start, then you're not no choice. You immediately have to follow. But when you are alone, as much as you can remain your meditation in your mind, then again this like thoughts arise, then you can start away. Something like you are free. When you go group, for example, somewhere, the guide is go, then you are not no follow, the no choice. You have to follow. Even you are not really finished, you are visited or watched this in the hall where you are visiting, maybe something like a museum or something. Okay, you in the museum, you on the wall there's something very, very, very interesting to you. You want to really see it's a detail way. But the guide say, "Oh, now it's time we have to go." Then no choice. You have to stop to watch. Continue. You have to go. But when you are alone, you slowly until you are satisfied. You are looking. You are watching. Similar when you are practice also. This sometimes two times happened, but this doesn't matter. This is like our training time. So we do follow, but this guru also some positive things. We have like more power, more energies. That is important. Then after you can say chances important that you must keep on your only compare course. If you can recite, you can recite. If you can't recite, but you can imagine that. You can visualize or with ideas. Even you can't recite this by your mouth, but in mind you can recite. So here's the one important things we have to know. This is I think already yesterday also I mentioned a little bit. The Bodhicitta relative is we received by the sadhanat, for example, ritual thing with our teacher. But the absolute bodhicitta, this is in Tibetan we call Gomtobli Hiba. Gomtobli. This is like arise in our mind through the power of our meditation. So that means you need to a good meditator, the relative bodhicitta. Otherwise, we cannot get or receive the absolute bodhicitta. Because the absolute bodhicitta is arise in our mind through the meditation power. So that means we need to meditation power. We need to receive. It's absolutely important to get the power of meditation. To get power of meditation, then we need to be good meditator, relative meditator. If you are not good relative meditator, or you're not the meditate relative meditate like you, okay, I'm waiting for the absolute meditation. I'm not going to really practice the relative bodhicitta. I'm waiting the absolute bodhicitta. You can't get. Always there's empty. That means you need to practice continue relative bodhicitta, more and more develop, more and more develop. Then one day, it's automatically you receive or you get the absolute bodhicitta. Surely, whoever practitioners wish and want to obtain this kind of the level, have the absolute bodhicitta, because it's a powerful and also it's like continuous without effort, effortlessly. Also. So that's now we know, okay, we need to really effort to bodhicitta, generate the relative bodhicitta. Without that, without this effort, without this practice, this continuity, then we will not get the absolute bodhicitta. This is we have to understand. Anyway, the arousing the bodhicitta or the generated bodhicitta, that is the really quintessence of the 84,000 methods which is taught by our Buddha Concord. So this bodhicitta is, if you have this instruction of the bodhicitta, that is enough. Your practice, if you have a bodhicitta, you practice the bodhicitta, then this is enough. Even you don't have others like recitation or other meditations. There's many many different methods. Those all the methods is the for arise the bodhicitta in our mind. That's the other method. Those bodhicitta is important. If you don't have the bodhicitta, your lack of the bodhicitta in your mind, then whatever, anything you are doing something, anything else is like futile. There's maybe something like no useful or something. This also we have to understand slightly. This already I told, already I mentioned. We can't say it's a zero. Without bodhicitta, it's a zero. I can't say. Maybe you are not very, you don't have the bodhicitta, but you don't have any bad ideas. Just you are doing something. Also, there's some result. That's sure, because we have these stories. The Lopon Tsering Gonpo and the Shantandewa and this king, the Dharma king. Those person, or they are the previous life. They have stories when the Sharonkakas and something like Hastin Pemas, the kings. That time the king's doctor is one insect or something. Also they have some other stories. They follow some animals like pig or something. These animals, they just follow around this stupa, but they don't have any attention like bodhicitta. That time these animals, there's some animals just they making circumambulance, some special, some, how do you say, like maybe like the temple, special temple, or many special statues. When they have this result one day appear, something this kind of the many historians. So we can't say if you don't have bodhicitta, then totally it's zero, but it's a very, very small, I can say. Maybe this result is very small. This result ripen, maybe it's like or takes a long time or something. Now, anyway, this is important here. We need to have this bodhicitta. That's more important. The bodhicitta is like the one medicine for the all the illness. Does it exist? This may be examples. The other things we are doing, dharma practice, many things. For example, we such as the true accumulation and like the purification of the defilement and the meditation on the deities and the reciting of the mantras. All this like the activities is the methods to make this bodhicitta arise in our mind. This bodhicitta is take birth in the mind. This is all is method. So it's the most important. Is bodhicitta. Then when we think, okay, then it's important. We generate bodhicitta is important. Yes, generate bodhicitta is important, but it's the arise the bodhicitta like actually arise bodhicitta is the more important than the generate bodhicitta. Do you understand what I want to say? For example, generate bodhicitta is good. It's important. But one day you don't need to generate bodhicitta. One day it's like your bodhicitta is always like actually arising. You don't need to generate something like bodhicitta is always there. Or 24 hours maybe automatically your bodhicitta is arise. That is important. But this is of course we need to get used. Otherwise, it's not coming. Someone maybe think it's happened one day if you really practice always the bodhicitta, generation bodhicitta. One day it's really arise automatically. Surely, 100%. This is coming. Just I'm giving you an example. Okay, there's many people like this. They recite mantras. Recite mantras whenever until sleep. They continue when they eaten time maybe they stop, but immediately when they finish this eaten, when they are doing something, they are going somewhere, travel somewhere. It's continuously, morning to evening, continue reciting the mantra. This is many people exist in Tibet because Tibetan the most activities you are working with maybe especially you are working the nomads is working with the animals. You just look after the animals whole day, morning to evening. You are on the mountains. There's nothing to do, so you recite. And the farmers also you farmer in your the place area on the earth you working and you recite in the mantras. It exists. Then this is what I want to say. Someone is like really getting used to this one. Then they don't need to effort this recite mantra. Even someone want to like stop your mantra, you say something, they say something like just your conversation. They just answer immediately. They again they start the mantra. Also, I also meet this person, kind of this person, Someone like recite the Tara, long Tara, this might 5 or 6 pages. They always recite this. Middle there's if you talk with, but normally sometimes we think where he is like recitation, how do you say where he stopped, interpreted by a person. it looks like it could be like forget. You need to go back to like a beginning, start. But there's some people that never forget. When you interrupt, you stop there, so they answer to you, then immediately where he stopped, he continue there. This is really, it's become a habit, like it's exist. So its mantras can happen like this, how do you say, like get used. Then surely when we meditate the generate bodhicitta also, for the moment we need to generate. Now I have to generate bodhicitta. Now I have to do like this thing. But if you continuously, then I think one day you don't need to effort for generate. Like bodhicitta is always arising in your mind. Thus times, then this bodhicitta have more and more power. Then through this power, then your inner bodhicitta or absolute bodhicitta will be arise in your mind. That is I want to say here. So until the bodhicitta arise in our mind without effort, then without effort, until there's, it's important to repeat again and again, remind ourselves, always it's important. Now we are going to start again study, again I mean like more further about this Trenan and the bodhicitta percepts. The bodhicitta we have already studied the intention and absolute. The intention have also, when you practice the bodhicitta of intention, this is like a classification of the relative bodhicitta. Relative bodhicitta have intention and application. The first, like order also, of course, we need to practice the intention. Then is the second is application is coming. So first the intention also, there's like order. I mean, this like if you follow, it's not how do you say? It's not obligatoire, obligation, but this is like more like easy way. If you go this order this way, then easy to arise in your mind this bodhicitta. This order is like the classification bodhicitta of the intention. There were like 3 stages. The considering others as equal to oneself. 1. Second is exchanging oneself. Third one's others, and the second one is changing oneself and others. The third one is taking others more important than oneself, yourself. Of course, that is practice. How to say? It's really near the. That times we are nearby the bodhisattvas activities practice. If we really can do that, then bodhisattvas. But even we are now copying, imagine, then this is we are following. We are practicing the bodhisattvas way. That is the bodhicitta of intention. Then the second one, the bodhicitta application. The application is the Trenan consists of practicing the 6 transcendent perfection, paramita, 6 paramita. This is the main, the practice, the bodhisattvas. Of course, then we think maybe this is difficult to practice. This is because the main practice of the Bodhisattva. For us, we are now ordinary people, maybe difficult. Uh, yes, for us it's difficult as practice the Bodhisattvas, but we can practice from now similarly the Bodhisattvas. It's necessary also. We cannot say, oh, this is maybe Bodhisattva's main practice, the later one coming. I can't do now. Then maybe it's never coming later. Later never coming. We need to imagine like something like copy, we can say. Like ID, with ideas, we need to practice. Similar copy, we can say. Anyway, so now is the first, we need to study how to practice the Bodhicitta of attention have 3 stages. The 3 stages, the first stage is we consider the others as equal of oneself. How we practice this bodhicitta? We can think like this way. Since the beginnerless, the sentient beings who is wandering in this ocean of the samsara, why they wander in this samsara? Because it comes from the like selfish. Selfish means here like self. Reality, there does not exist I, me, and you. It's not exist I, but you have considered, you are thinking I and myself is exist and the most important than the others. So I have be free. It's important. Myself is happy. My life. So always you are thinking yourself, which is we thought not exist. Then by this like intention or by this idea, wrong ideas, then you are wandering in the samsara. If like that, then what we have to think, how we think now meditation here, like we're considering others as equal to oneself, how we have to meditate here. First, we have to maybe think ourselves, because this is more we have experience. What we want to be happy. We never want or wish any kind sufferance in our life. Nobody. Even we have very small like sufferance, we cannot bear. How do you say, like unbearable? The small things like unbearable. It's very, very strange if you really carefully analyze ourselves. The human beings really is strange. Why I can't say like this? For example, someone say like something bad words, only words. This is reality, is nothing to do for you, bad things. If physical, then of course we have sick, something like this. broke something. So this is something just they say something like a bad words. Bad words is not really bad words. Someone say even like very small things, you are not really beautiful. You are a little bit ugly. We are not happy. We are angry. But reality is that's nothing, isn't it? That's where it come from. This comes from I. I want to be like happy. I want to be the excellent, perfect one. Then someone say just one word. Then it's you changed your uh, face color or what also. So here what I want to say. Even these words like by, it come from by mouth. It's just really air. But this also unbearable. It's very strange. Reality, this is just air, just a sound. This make, how to say, problem in our mind. Then we continually think whole day why he say like this. And also someone say, now you become old. Immediately our mind is something change. Sometimes some people, sensitive people, even they're really unbearable. Someone say, you are become old. Even someone ask your age. Some people really unbearable these things also. Angry already. Why he or she asked me my age? This is very strange if you really analyze these things. So that means like small things really is not really make problems ourselves. Also, we cannot and we cannot zopa. It's unbearable. So we know this one. Then okay, ourselves like this. Small things unbearable. Then we are doing uh, for the others more than that. We like for the small happiness, for happiness, then we are doing enormous, like a lot of the sufferings to the others. That is really, if you think carefully, we should be ashamed what we did. But this is already, I think, the Rinpoche a detailed way is mentioned. He mentioned the detailed way. For example, this nomads for our happiness, then they do many bad things for the animals. Of course, in our life, for our lives in this world, were killed many beings. This is like small things for us, like small happiness. For the small happiness, then we are doing very big or lot of unbearable sufferings to the others. Reality, if you think carefully, all the sentient beings in this world, which is alive in the sky until the under the earth, who exist in the sentient beings, their idea is the same. They want to be happy, surely. They try to escape any kind of suffering, scares. Seem like us. It's equal, exactly the same. If you cannot consider, if you cannot think the other animals, maybe it's animals, it's animal, insects, insect. I'm a human, but maybe difficult to. Maybe they don't. Many people say they don't have. Maybe they don't have. They say maybe they don't have sufferings. Okay, for the moment we don't argument with this thing. Maybe you can say, okay, you are human being. You think ourselves also. I'm human being. My neighborhood, my colleagues, they are human beings. Then they same, surely same have ID. They have same like ID, like me. I want to happy. Surely they also want to happy. Me, something like small things, problems, unbearable. I can't bear or uh, cannot bear. Yes, cannot bear. Then surely they also count. Then it's equal. Maybe first we trained by like a similar the human being ourselves. Then more maybe animals, insects. If we can't immediately, I mean, if you can immediately like how do you say, train with all the sentient beings, very good, same equal. But if you can't, maybe sometimes more easy, since we are human beings, maybe just to think in human beings. So all those beings, same like they want to happy, they don't want to suffer, same like me. But the problems, the most the beings, even they want to be happy, but they don't know how to accumulate the cause of happiness. They try to search, uh, prepare some happiness, doing effort to get this happiness, but this finally is wrong because it's ignorance, too heavy or too big ignorance. Through this ignorance, what they did, all is wrong. This is like become cause of the suffering, harmful actions they are doing, which is after they burn suffering. These all the sentient beings already is like become my parents. All those beings, there's not a single one who has not. At some moment throughout the time without beginning, being a present to us. Here the meaning is like there's no one is we can't say this person, this human being, this maybe insect, this animals is not be my parents. We can't say beginningless, so we don't know. Since they are my parents, of course, they did good things for me. But even if you not think the parents, so you can see this suffering. No one wants to suffer. Any beings they not want to suffer. All the beings they want to be happy. That's the same. So first beginning to meditation this equal. So we have to think this way. Okay, we stop here. Thank you very much. Sorry, today this is first when beginnings the technique some problems. So I hope after that it's okay.